We're going to be arriving in York soon, and the first port of call is to have a little look around the city, have a look at York Minster, have a look at some of the popular tourist destinations here, including the JORVIK Centre, and some of the quaint little shops that they have in some of the famous streets, including the Shambles. We're going to have a look at the River Ouse that runs through the city and go for some awesome food with our good friend John, who lives here. So come join us on this epic journey as we venture through the streets of York. We're just arriving in York now, which is one of the most medieval cities in the world. It's situated in the north of England, and I'm going to show you how we spent the day here, which may give you an idea of how to spend your day here. So let's walk into the city now by crossing the River Ouse, which, as you can see, is overflowed and has burst its banks. We're heading into the city via Bootham Road, which intersects Gilligate and leads us through one of the city's 4 gates, this one being Bootham Bar. And the other 3 gates are called Monk Bar, Walmgate Bar and Micklegate Bar. And at this end of the town you'll find easy access to York Minster. York Minster's opening times are between 9:30 in the morning and 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and now it's around 8:30 in the morning, so whilst we're waiting for it to open, we went for a walk around the outside of the Minster. Well, you'll find this statue of Constantine. And Constantine's statue is presumed to have been commissioned to celebrate him as a Roman emperor here in York. There's a park you can have a walk around for free next to York Minster called Dean's Park, and it's a good place to get away from the busy streets, although at this time of the morning it wasn't so busy. And as we wait for the Minster to open, we'll have a walk through some of the streets in York now. I'll show you a couple of the famous streets here in York a little bit later, but for now we're walking down Stonegate, which leads us on to the famous Betty's Tea Room, which was another place on our list that we wanted to visit whilst here in York, although as you can see the queues are quite long and we didn't know how long we'd have to wait, so we decided against queuing and go for a look in a couple of shops that were open, including this one, which is the Yorkshire Soap Shop, and Fang liked it because of the different kinds of botanical soap bars and gift boxes. And I quite like this shop called Imaginarium, which was a bit unusual. It had some weird and wonderful items that brighten up your home, and all of these are apparently sourced from the best and most innovative artists and makers. It was getting towards opening time at York Minster, so we headed back to get a ticket. Because unless you're a York resident or student, in which you can get in for free, you'll have to buy your ticket, and you can buy them online or just pay for them on the door. There's different ticket options. There's a ticket just for the Minster, which costs 18 Great British pounds, or for the Minster and Central Tower at £24. Although just check the weather conditions when coming, because when we come, which was in December, the Central Tower was closed due to high winds. We'd recommend coming here if you're visiting York, and depending on your interest and love for churches and architecture, etc., will determine how much time you want to spend here. There's a lot to see, and as we walk around we'll show you some of the different areas. There's lots of rooms off the main area of the church with various tombs and remembrances for comrades who fought for king and country, as well as places where you can light a candle and say a prayer. I'm sure there'll be many videos on YouTube about York Minster, and I may even do one specifically at some point as well, but for this video I just want to give you an overview and a feel of what it's like to visit various places in York from a tourist perspective. Although one thing which was quite impressive was all the medieval stained glass that the Minster retains, which is a significant survival among European churches. The Minster was built for the glory of God, and it really is one of the world's most magnificent cathedrals. Since the 7th century, the Minster's been the centre of Christianity in the north of England, and even today it remains a thriving church rooted in the daily offerings of worship and prayer.
Queen Fang.
After spending a couple of hours here looking around and taking a few pictures looking like the late Queen Elizabeth, it was time to move on, and you'll exit the Minster through this little gift shop where you can purchase various memorabilia for your friends and family, including historical books, t-shirts and little trinkets as a reminder of your time here. And then it was back onto the streets of York to find somewhere for lunch. There's no shortages of places to eat in York, from fast food to sit-down meals, and we came across this place, which is just off Grape Lane in Norman Court, about a 10-minute walk from the Minster, called 1331. And this place does what I must say, really tasty jacket potatoes. And I got the jacket potato with chili con carne topped with cheese, and Fang got a jacket potato with pulled pork and salsa. And we also got some sweet potato fries and corn on the cob as a side as well, with drinks. And for this meal it came to just short of £30 for the two of us. Lunch finished, it was time to head back out into the centre of York now and have a look around some of the famous streets, including this one, Little Shambles, that leads on to the famous Shambles, which is one of York's most famous landmarks and one of the best preserved medieval shopping streets in Europe. With its cobbled streets and overhanging buildings, there's no shortage of things to do and to see. There's lots of snickelways in York, which are alleys, ginnels, snickets and lanes, many of them ancient, that run between York streets. And this is one example, running from Shambles to the Shambles Outdoor Market, where you can buy any number of things, including clothes, fresh meat from the local butcher, and fruit and vegetables, like these blueberries that Fang bought.
I have what you need.
We'll move on now to the next destination on our day tour of York, to another popular place to visit called Clifford's Tower. And it's worth mentioning that there's no shortage of pubs and clubs here in York, hence York being a popular destination for both stag and hen parties with its lively nightlife. As you can probably see, you've got all kinds of options depending on how long you're staying here. There's a grand opera house with its many shows and musicals, as well as York's scariest attraction, York Dungeons. And we've arrived now at Clifford's Tower, that takes its name from one grisly incident and its long history when Roger de Clifford was executed for treason against Edward II and hanged in chains from the tower walls. The opening times for Clifford Tower is from 10 in the morning till 6 at night from April till October, and from 10 in the morning till 4 from the end of October till the end of March. And tickets are £9.50, although if you're travelling here by bicycle, bus or train, you can get a 20% discount by showing your train ticket, bus ticket or bicycle helmet.
Thank you.
Alright, you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
You can find out more information about this place on their website, although I'll give you a bit of information about Clifford's Tower now, in that it's the largest remaining building of York Castle, which is Northern England's greatest medieval royal fortress. In 2022 it had an update which included internal walkways, a dramatic roof deck, and as we walk up to the roof deck now, once you're up here you'll get to see these magnificent views over York, where previously the tower was an empty shell. A freestanding timber structure within it has been installed, protecting the ruin, and on the tower's lost first floor, dramatic aerial walkways open up, hidden rooms for the first time since Clifford Tower was gutted by fire in 1684. There really is some awesome views of York from up here, from all the different angles overlooking the city. And on the way back down you can also go into the room which used to be the King's Chapel. And many medieval castles were built with private chapels, often adjoining bedchambers. Few kings ever visited York Castle, and the chapel was used for other functions. In the mid-14th century it was used as a storeroom for valuables and was called the Treasury.
Interesting.
People typically spend around 30 minutes to an hour here at Clifford's Tower, and as time was moving on of our mini tour of York, we head to our next destination, which is the JORVIK Centre. But before we go, we noticed a place opposite Clifford's Tower called York Castle Museum, and although we went for a look inside, we soon realised we didn't have time on today's trip to look around, so we stuck to our original plan and walked to the JORVIK Centre, which is only about a 5-10 minute walk from here. You can see the queue there for the JORVIK Centre. It's quite long due to it being one of the more popular places to visit in York, and in hindsight we would have been better booking online and getting a time slot to come rather than waiting, although Fang was happier she could get a picture with one of the Vikings, and the queue moved fairly quickly. We waited around 30 minutes before we were able to go inside and purchase our tickets.
So that's £30 altogether, and was that be cash or card?
So your ticket is valid for a year, so you can come back as many times as you like during the next 12 months. Just keep a hold of this ticket.
So yeah, the tickets are £15 each, and as the guy said on the till, you can come back as many times as you want within 12 months, or you can be a good Samaritan and give it to somebody you know who might want to visit. And once you're inside, you wait in line for the ride that will take you around this reconstruction of the city and discover the lives of the inhabitants of 10th century York.
You have arrived by the River Foss. Ahead lies the city with countless houses and workshops. Here's Sigurd. He's using animal bones and anchor from deer to make some everyday objects. Here's the blacksmith's house. Grummy, the blacksmith, is teaching his son how to sharpen a knife he had just made.
As you go around, you'll see the animatronic characters and what they did in their daily lives, as well as experience real-life smells of what it would have been like at that time.
We're now moving into Obligated Centre, an important commercial street.
That was a little snippet of what you can expect to see, and it's recommended to give yourself at least an hour here so you have the opportunity to explore both the ride and the gallery spaces, which is what I'll show you a bit of now. And as usual with all these places, there's a gift shop up on exiting, so you can buy something to remember your visit by, should you wish.
Hello?
Hi.
Freya's Day today.
She just said it was Freya's Day today, and even after Googling it, I'm unsure what she meant. So if you do know, leave us a comment, because I'd be interested to know what she meant. And as we were walking back into town, we came across this crepe van. And we're a bit of a sucker when it comes to little treats, so Fang decided to get a banana and peanut butter crepe.
Ooh!
Which is this one the lady's making now.
What's it taste like?
Try together.
And as Fang would say in Thai, Aroy Mak, which means delicious. Today's video is not sponsored by anyone because I'm not that good of a YouTuber yet.
No!
Although we've got lots more countries and cities that we've travelled to coming your way. We can just hopefully provide you with some authentic, genuine, real-life coverage of our travels that maybe have helped you or even just entertain you. So thank you very much for watching. And that's enough of me rambling on now. I'll get back to this video now.
We've got me on the front.
Those buying a few gifts for Fang's family, specifically a brother, A, who, bless him, loves Manchester United. So we got him this mug and also a pencil case to take back to Thailand for him. Shopping done and gifts bought. It was around 4 o'clock in the evening at this point, and we planned on one more place to visit while we were here in York, which was the National Railway Museum, before meeting up with our good friend John for dinner. And we crossed over the Ouse Bridge to see the devastation of the floods that it had caused, which is a common occurrence here in York. It happens just about every year. So take care when you are walking around here, and be careful if you do decide to take a shortcut like we did, because if you don't have any means of walking on water, you might end up with a longer route than originally planned.
Well, I don't think we'll be taking a cruise down the River Ouse today, Fang.
Walking to the Railway Museum from the city centre is clearly signposted, and it's on the opposite side of the main train station's entrance. And that was a free road train you can also take that goes between York Minster and the museum every 30 minutes. And from the city centre it's around a 20-minute walk, and it's a great place for solo travellers and families alike, or anyone who's interested in trains for that matter. It's a free attraction, and whilst you don't need to book a ticket to come here, it is recommended that you do, as it'll save you time on the day. There's a large display of exhibitions and trains here, and I won't go through them all in case you want to come here for yourself, so instead I'll mention a few, including this one, which is the Intercity 125, and there's also the famous Japanese speed bullet train called the Shinkansen, which we can also show you on one of our other videos when we visited Japan.
So we're on the Shinkansen in England.
And another popular train here is the Mallard, which is the world's fastest steam locomotive. And you can get a good view overlooking the Railway Museum from this bridge, and we noticed a little cafe from here, so it was rude not to pop in. And we grabbed ourselves a couple of hot chocolates to warm the cockles and had a little look in the gift shop. And then on the way out of the museum, we noticed a model railway as well inside here, so we had a little look in there too. And in here they had some of the trains that we saw on display going round the tracks, and then it was time to make our move out of the Railway Museum and to our next port of call, which in hindsight we would have been better doing up on arrival into York, as we wanted to have a little walk around the city walls. And as you can see, it's already getting dark. Well, it is dark, and although you wouldn't have a problem in the summer, in the winter time, in particular December, January, it starts getting dark in the UK around 4 o'clock in the evening. And that being said, the city walls had also been closed for safety reasons because of bad weather, so people didn't slip or fall when walking around, which was fair enough. So we headed to another place, which was across Lendl Bridge, called Museum Gardens, where they'd set up this bar called Thor's, and it's not normally here in the summer, and we were told that was just here for Christmas, although nonetheless it was a nice place to come and get out the cold and have a refreshing pint. And the temperatures here in winter does vary, so wrap up warm. You can expect temperatures anywhere from -5 to 10 degrees. And when we come, on this day in particular, it was around 5 degrees. We're getting towards the end of the day now here in York, but we're not finished yet, as we had one more place to go in the company of our good friend John, who's on the screen for you now. And this was for a meal, and also to give Fang a little surprise too, by taking to this Thai restaurant in York called Rosa's Thai, where we got to give her a taste of a native food, which I know she's missed whilst being here in England. And what a good choice it was too, because the food was absolutely amazing, as were the drinks, although I can't remember the name of that one which John had.
Is that right?
But he liked it, and maybe he can comment what it was if he remembers. And then our starters arrived, which were these spring rolls and chicken satay. Fang then showed a fellow Man U fan, John, some of the gifts that we'd bought and gave him a recap of some of the places that we'd been.
One say Clifford and go.
Clifford's Tower.
Oh, you went to the top of that?
Yeah. And then where we go for the
Railway Museum.
Then it was time for our main courses.
So what we got, Fang?
For me, red duck curry.
Red duck curry. And John? What have you got, mate?
Chicken pad thai.
Chicken pad thai.
And you?
Massaman curry.
And we couldn't fault the food here. As you can see, we all really enjoyed it.
It's good.
And after the main meal, it'd be rude not to order dessert. And although this isn't a restaurant review, I did promise John that I will put him on YouTube. And not only that, John's been a mate for years. We worked together helping people with mental health problems. And also did a radio station back in the day where he performed as Dr. D. And it was really good catching up with John and introducing him to Fang.
You said you can't be eating too much of this. I'd be there all night, you'd be like us.
Yes.
Nice. Wash it down with a pint.
John insisted on paying for this meal, so we owe him for that one.
We come tomorrow.
Actually, we probably need to pay for the next few meals, looking at the cost of that.
So what do we say? 𝐘𝐓, John. Thank you, mate.
Yeah, I'm not very tempted to say that.
Thank you very much.
After saying goodbye to John in Thai, you've just seen that meal came to £104 and a penny. As we head back to the train station to get our train back to Darlington, I'll put the cost of this trip of York on the screen for you now, and it'll vary for you depending on the places that you want to visit, as well as your travel costs of coming here. You can see our total cost there for the two of us on this day trip was £264, and that's just an approximation. And you can also see the price differences from some of the other videos on our channel of the places that we've visited. And we've got lots more coming your way, including a few more places in England, as well as Wales, Japan, Hong Kong and Thailand. So I'd just like to wish everyone a great day, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video.